Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for another vinyl update. Gonna go through some recent additions to the record collection, some older ones that I have been pulling and listening to lately and just feel like blabbing about for a little bit. I hope everybody is doing well in this month of July. My mental health is in a state, I will be honest, but music is the glue that keeps it together. With that being said, let's not dilly-dally any further, and let's get into the records. What do we have here? Quite a good bunch. As you already saw, BRAT, which we will get to. I have not opened it. So, starting, number one, what do we have on the chopping block? Otoboke Beaver. Super CHAMPON. Super CHAMPON. Amazing record. Their follow-up to Itakoma Hits, I believe, is the title. One of the greatest, best, most exciting, thrilling, intense, and fast modern living punk bands out there today. So fun. So full of character, so catchy. There's even like a little riff at one point on the album that's eluding me. I talk about it in the review for the record. That's kind of like a Dead Kennedys California Uber Alice send-up, which was pretty cool. I even emailed Jello Biafra about it at one point. I was like, do you think this is like a reference? And he was like, yeah, I think that's a reference, which was pretty cool. But yeah, sick record, incredible record. Listen to this if you are at all a fan of punk music. Itakoma Hits as well. I love the album art concept with like the the boxing gloves. It's so good. And I love their color coordination, love their personality. Just, what a great artistic group. And again, they're so fast, they're so full of character, they're so intense. I've seen, I believe it was like Soul Glow on Twitter, just talking about how fast and crazy they are live. If you haven't seen or heard of them, I also recommend checking out their Tiny Desk concert, which is very entertaining. But I'm loving the sort of like cloud blue vinyl. It looks like you're just kind of staring into a sky. I like that a lot. But yes, I've been spinning this one a little bit and reminding myself of how fire the group is. Because again, I went back recently to that Tiny Desk that they did, and that caused me to start spinning a bit of this and Itakoma Hits again. And again, just a incredible punk band, one of the best out of Japan, one of the best operating today. Otoboke Beaver. Queens. Next, my album of the year. My album of the year, HELLMODE, for the year 2023. HELLMODE, Mr. Jeff Rosenstock. Incredible album. I've been actually sitting on this. I have not opened it. I have not opened my HELLMODE, so I'm gonna open my HELLMODE now. I'm actually loving the very kind of like chaotic cover art like this, this like a very weird comic book style, like, chaotic mural thing going on. This buff bald guy with the tears in his eyes, that's me right there. This also might be Mimi, the naked guy with the glasses, the naked individual. No, I'm kidding. But, anyway, I'm liking the cover art a lot now that I could sort of like see it more blown up. Also kind of liking the pixelated lettering, which I think is kind of a cool move. It's it's a very chaotic scene, and I think and the hot pink as well, very nice. Get rid of that. It's a gatefold. What do we got there in the gatefold? More hot pink, more details on the chaotic series of illustrations here, which I'm liking, which I'm enjoying. Liner notes, of course, thank yous, personnel, and let's take a look at the record. We have a lyric sheet, people. We have a lyric sheet with fireworks, with images. That's quite nice. Oh, that's a hot pink. It even looks hotter on camera than it does in person. Actually, no, it's wow, that is a bright neon pink. That is a neon pink. That is so neon. Incredible. Great. I mean, it's a hot record, so I think a hot pink is fitting for a hot record. But yes, if you're looking to get into some very emotional, personal, thoughtful, and moving indie rock, pop punk, you most definitely do not want to miss out on that Jeff record. That's for sure. This next one is one that I have not opened yet as well. This one comes from Merge Records, who are actually doing a bit of a reissue of one of my favorite Mountain Goats albums, the Coroner's Gambit, which I've only ever had on CD. I don't know if it's like an A-tier Mountain Goats record. It's B+ at the very least. It's a great album. Like, is it all Hail West Texas? No, but there are amazing songs on this record, and there was a period where it was my most played Mountain Goats record as I was getting into John Darnielle's music in the band. And yeah, we're getting a reissue of this. It seems like it's kind of decked out, so I'm kind of interested to open this and see what it's got. Sticker says, the long sought after album by the Mountain Goats, finally back in print, features new liner notes by John Darnielle, released on the precipice of Mountain Goats' breakout All Hail West Texas, which is true. The production and instrumental layers on this record are a little bit of a step up from previous works, but it's not quite at like the studio quality level that like Tallahassee is down the road, and it's not as raw as All Hail West Texas either. It's a nice middle ground. Epic that stands out as Darnielle's best outings in any era. But yeah, I'm sort of curious as to what this is, because this is all like folded into like a whole bag. Oh wow, it's like a whole. This is the original text of the paper bag that housed the first edition of this album. I am leaving it intact rather than revising it. Stage bidets moment never. Sorry, I have horrible dyslexia, and reading on the fly is difficult. Stage bidets moment comes ever closer. Let people tremble in fear. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is also like maybe in the CD liner notes, if I remember correctly, which I still have the CD. Yeah, finishes off on the other side. Okay, all right. This is a choice. Presenting the album in this way is a choice. And there we go. Nice. That's beautiful. That's great. I love that. Insurance Fraud too. Insurance Fraud is such a banger. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, no. Some of my favorite Mountain Goats songs are on here for sure. Island Garden Song rules. Onions is great. But There Will Be No Divorce is also very good. But Insurance Fraud 2 is like one of the greatest songs of all time, I'm convinced. If not just one of the greatest songs of the 2000s. Yeah, I love Insurance Fraud. It's literally about what it's about. What do we got here? Ooh, oh, this is ooh. It's like a fucking popcorn Jelly Belly. Holy shit. Okay. I like it. I mess with it. I respect it. Mountain Goats, Coroner's Gambit. Reissue. Nice. Insurance Fraud. If I'm remembering it correctly. But if I don't have the melody in my head, I know I remember very vividly. The lyrics are hilarious. Yeah, Insurance Fraud 2. That's it's definitely a Mountain Goats classic. Holy shit. Very cool. Very cool that this is getting reissued, because John Darnielle is a very prolific boy, and a lot of great Mountain Goats albums came out prior to Tallahassee, prior to All Hail, prior to the Sunset Tree, and some of those records are super underrated. So, all right, great. Okay, next one comes from the Jazz Dispensary, who I talked about in the last vinyl update, who threw a few records my way. This one, however, is not a jazz release specifically. I mean, it's kind of like a bit of a specialty niche, throwback, uncovered crate digging on gems kind of, thing that they're doing. And this is the Round Robin Monopoly. And this record is like some really awesome soul and funk combos, with generally some great instrumentation. There are a few tracks where like the mixes and use of effects are a little weird and a little off. And there was even one song where I caught like the bass was super out of tune, specifically the E string on I'd Rather Loan You Out, I think it was on. Yeah, there's like some blemishes for sure on this thing. But with that being said, the choruses on most of the track are very fun and very catchy. I mean, I still think I'd Rather Loan You Out is a very good song. The horns that kick the entire album off are great. Life sure is funky is another really huge standout on the record. And another kind of big selling point to this album is the singer has just this big, huge, deep, animated, boisterous voice, and his lyrics are so narrative a lot of the time. It sort of feels like he's telling you a story, and you can kind of just imagine it playing out in your head, and it's set to this music that feels like it would, sort of like be in a blaxploitation film in the 70s or something like that. So it's, it's kind of cinematic in that way. But yeah, I'm liking this a lot. It's a very fun, again, hidden gem kind of album. Nothing too crazy in terms of, layout or packaging, just like standard black vinyl, but it's a nice heavy pressing, and it's got a very, high quality anti-static bag as well. Big, thick cardboard cover. But yeah, the Jazz Dispensary continues to do and put out good stuff. So if this is kind of your era, this is something that you specialize in, or if you're looking to sort of like, rack up more records in this vein, you're going to want to check this out. This is pretty cool. Again, the Round Robin Monopoly. All right. Moving on from there. Next, this I've been spinning recently. This is not new. This has been in my catalog for years. It's been my, collection for years. SUNN, black one. So amazing. So incredible. Like horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Like, I mean, it's drone metal. It's drone metal, straight up. It's just drone metal. But to say it's just drone metal is obviously dismissive. Like it's power ambient. You feel the sounds. You taste the fucking sounds. Like it's so heavy. It's so oppressive. It's so incredible. And, the guitars are great, as they typically are on any SUNN album. But on top of that, I just love the additional bits going on with like the guest vocals and the sound effects and the moogs. It's just so dense and textured and amazing. And again, just like creepy and harrowing. And, few albums I feel like are as dense and as scary as this one. This record is just really like prime era SUNN, and I'm just so happy to have like an original pressing of this album, and to be able to put it on every once in a while and just be like completely just freaked out and horrified at the terrible, scary, freakish, and dark things that it has to offer. So SUNN, black one, incredible. I don't know if I've talked about this. This is sort of a new-ish sort of addition to the catalog. I think I got this when I was in California, and I was at Amoeba casually one evening, and I'm a Jonathan Richman boy, modern lovers boy. I think he's one of the greatest and most fun and most quirked up songwriters of his era of all time, point blank period. Some of my favorite tracks from him ever land on this record, like "Whoa, New England." Rockin' Shopping Center is also very cute. You know, Jonathan Richman is an old soul, and he has a goofy voice, a goofy demeanor about him. He's a quirky, silly guy. He's a silly little boy. And he, you know, for his time period, wrote and recorded a lot of music that was nostalgic for its era. But we're talking about a guy who was operating in the 70s and in the 80s, but was recording music that was paying homage to, you know, like singer-songwriter music and rock and roll and like sock hop pop of the 50s. And yeah, you know, in the way that he kind of redoes it on records like these, it's a little more raw, it's a little more loose, it's a little more punky, but it's still very kind of like innocent and charming and silly and, you know, a little cheeky as well. And yeah, you know, it's like you're talking about like him singing about you know, rock and roll at the shopping center. There's a cool Chuck Berry cover on here. You know, there's more heart-wrenching moments like Important in Your Life. There's also, you know, really super silly bits like Abominable Snowman in The Market, Hey There Little Insect. And there's also a song on here, a really kind of cute little rock and roll song about like Martians coming down from another planet and like, you know, meeting humans on Earth. It's silly, it's goofy, it's fun, it's super catchy, it's super entertaining. And, you know, if you're looking for something that's like kind of lighthearted, standard black, nothing too crazy. But it sounds great, and it's a great record. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's kind of like lighthearted and is really, honestly, going to probably bring some summer vibes as well, some carefree summer vibes. We do not live in carefree times, mind you. We absolutely do not fucking live in carefree fucking times. But if you want to like borrow at least a minute of that vibe from this record, by all means. But yeah, Jonathan Richman and the Modern Lovers is the title of this one. Don't get confused with other, you know, records, because, you know, there's other compilations out there. There's the, you know, sort of like proto-punk debut the Modern Lovers dropped a while ago. Don't, you know, try to, you know, look for this cover. There may even be another version of this album with a different cover. Maybe I'm wrong. I sort of like get a little confused about which albums are Jonathan Richman albums, which ones are Modern Lover albums, which ones are Jonathan Richman and Modern Lover albums. It's a bit of a confusion on that front, but it's still an amazing album. And again, you know, look for the one specifically that Rockin' Shopping Center back in the USA, New England. Look for the one with those tracks. You'll enjoy it. All right. What do we got next? Sampha, incredible record. Lahai, amazing, beautiful. Haven't popped this one open yet. I have not popped it open yet. Okay, let's do that now. Now that I have it right here with you, for you, popping it open. I'm gonna bust it open. I'm gonna really bust it open over here on camera, like a special guy. Boom. Okay, well. Sampha, Lahai. If you're looking for some amazing balladry, neo-soul music with kind of an electronic and very densely rhythmic twist on the percussion side, and incredible vocals, amazing vocals, and conceptual songwriting too. Like a lot of the tracks sort of like, you know, orient themselves around themes of like personal growth, and are very much inspired by the story of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. It's a very interesting album. Check out the review if you haven't, and even if you don't do that, most definitely check out the album if you haven't. But beautiful record, very kind of simple. Like these are all the track titles. Very minimal, very tiny, very simple. You can probably barely even see it. Separate lyric sheet, very tiny, very simple, very clear cut. Thank yous, big thank yous all over the thing. And yes, actually this makes sense. This is like, again, this is very, woo. Sampha, Lahai, very tiny in the middle. Little dots everywhere, all around the thing. This is somehow more minimal in terms of like packaging and presentation than like the 1975's like online relationships, which is kind of interesting. Okay, standard black. Basic labeling, but it's a nice thick It's a nice thick one. Not too thick, but it feels great. And it's probably going to sound amazing once I throw it onto the turntable, which I will commit to doing that this week. Just thought I would bust it open on camera for you guys. So, great record. Amazing record. Incredible record. Quick one, Mexican Summer, dropped this year. Reviewed it not too long ago. The new Jessica Pratt album here in the pitch. If you're looking for something that is like 60s, 70s singer-songwriter, but the vocals are just like, almost like, just elf-like, just otherworldly. Feels like I'm being sung to by like a mystical fairy or like a forest creature or something. Like the vocals are something else. The songs are a little brief, and the entire album itself is a little scant, but for the moment that it is on, it is most definitely beautiful. It is most definitely gorgeous. It is most definitely stunning. My God, why is the plastic so hard? But really enjoyed this record quite a bit, and I think it's one of her most solid records to date. I'm a monster. I'm a menace. What am I doing? Oh my Jesus Christ! Finally. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? It just is what it is. But yeah, here in the pitch is a beautiful LP. Again, if you're looking for something that's stark, that's simple, that's enchanting, that's pretty, you're going to want to give this one a spin. Liking that. Very simple lyric sheet over here on the other side of this very pink image of what looks like a trail, a wall, a creek. Definitely a woodsy setting. And ooh, what do we have here? Oh, liking the color consistency. We got like pinks and reds and so on and so forth. I like that a lot. I like that quite a bit. And I love this sleeve as well. But that's nice. That's very nice. How are we doing on time? Time's fine. Time's good. Time is but a construct. But yeah, beautiful record. Again, covered it earlier this year. If you're looking for a stark, pretty singer-songwriter album that is not going to last too long, but for the moments that it's on, it's going to enchant you, give this one a spin. All right, this next one is, I imagine in some way a local flavor. I have not done my full background on this. But this one came by way of my friend Giggins, who co-hosts the New Music Friday streams with me. He works at a record store in the area named Static Era. Sorry, I'm mixing my words around. And he passed me this record from this band over here named Clearbody. Bend Into a Blur is the record. If you're looking for something that is like obviously from an up-and-coming group, but sounds like heavy and professional grade and is bringing some just very thick, dense, blissful post-metal vibes, a little bit of groove metal vibes, some post-rock style inspired ascents, some clean soaring vocal harmonies on top that are a little Deftones-esque at points. It's a little shoegazy, it's a little metal-gazy at points, this thing. Then you're going to want to give this a listen. It's a 5 solid tracks and, you know, a nice little blue vinyl package that, you know, works very well with this kind of interesting spacey cover. Is this I don't know, it's just the way the light hits this thing. It feels like it's not holographic, but it like almost feels like it is. I like the image of this a lot. It's just like a very like sort of like thick, sort of saturated. It's just the blue saturation is like very pretty to look at. But yeah, it's like a solid little project. I wouldn't say it's exactly sort of like my usual cup of tea, but I know there are a lot of people in my, you know, comments and in my mentions on social media who usually get up my ass for not going gaga for this kind of thing. And if you are one of those people, you want to check this out. Again, Clearbody, bend into a blur. I imagine the project is probably also on like Bandcamp as well, probably around the internet. But again, look up the band, look up the title, look up Static Era Records, and you can get yourself a copy as well. I'm liking this, clear blue vinyl over here. Clear body, clear blue. It's a very nice, kind of like ice blue color. So yeah, it's a really nice, cool little package they put together for this. It's amazing how just great some of these, independent releases are coming together for vinyl records these days when they do get a chance to print them due to, the bottlenecks and everything of production. Okay, here we go. The final moment. The bumping that. Ah! Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, BRAT. BRAT. And this is... There's been some different variations of this record. I know which one it is, but I'm not going to tell you guys. We're just gonna wait and see. But yeah, we have the. I love. I love how pixelated the fucking text is. I mean, it's always just the low quality is amazing. I love it. Listen. I will say this and remind everybody when she dropped this cover. Everybody was like, ew, no, what the fuck is this? This is trash. And I was like, wait, hold the goddamn phone. This is it. This is literally it. This is it. This is genius. This is what we need. And I love that just like everybody came around on it. And now the green is iconic. The lettering is iconic. The title is iconic. Like Charli knew. Charli knew when other people didn't. And this is not the only time. Charli knew when she did Vroom Vroom. Charli knew when she did this. Charli knows. So, people need to just get better at trusting the process with Charli XCX. Now we do have like this sort of a seal we have to break here. I'm sad about that. Can I peel it? Is it something I can peel? I don't, it seems the glue is aggressive. It's an aggressive glue. I think for the sake of time, we're just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, I'm doing it with the toothpick. I'm popping that. Breaking that, boop, boop, boop. Okay, we're getting through it. We're breaking through. Bam, done. Okay. All right, we're ready. We're ready to get BRAT. Oh, popping out on me, huh? Oh, okay, I've seen this, but I love this. This is. It's like okay. Fax paper. Is this literally carbon paper? It is. Is this if I wrote on this in pen, would this transfer? That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Who the fuck does this? Who does this? Like carbon printer paper? Like see, I haven't held this. I haven't held anything like this since like I was in grade school. The nostalgia is just amazing. Like Charli does nostalgia like nobody else. She does it in a way where it's like it's futuristic and she just taps into it in ways that like who is doing this? Who is doing this? Like where do you even find this? Where do you even like I need carbon printer paper from the late 90s, like what? Like it works on multiple levels. It's an aesthetic thing, it's an artistic thing, it's a technological thing, because obviously this sort of like print, this text, this paper, the feel of it is from a certain time period. And that's just really interesting. It's thorough. And there's even the perforations on the end. Again, I'm just wondering if like this is something that had to be made to order, if there's like still places where you can get this, or like or if like there was some sort of like, leftover batch of it somewhere that it was made use of. I really have no idea, but either way, it's an incredible, like, little interesting addition to the cover art. Again, album, opening it up. Ooh, we got the gatefold with the Charli, with the hole for the record, the label in the middle, the eye on one side, the green on the other. I love that. I love that. I think that's great. I love how, varied the labels are, or how different the labels are, because obviously they want a different visual, a different something, depending on which side of the record it's a part of. Let's look at, so wait a second. What is this again? Is this liner notes? Okay, it's a liner notes. Recorded at, mixed at, producers, everything like that. It's liner notes. So I imagine this has to be lyrics, which, I mean, has there been a more quotable album in 2024 so far? I do not think so. This album has proven to be the most quotable album of the year. And I love this. The text is great. It's crisp. I love the formatting. Ooh, awesome, dope, amazing, great photo, great picture, interesting background, rewind, amazing. I love the formatting. I love the way it's, that's a, apple is shaped like kind of an apple, or like a Pac-Man. Looks like something with a bite taken out of it, so I imagine probably an apple. Girl so confusing. Girl. Ooh, I just love how the lyrics are in a different shape on every page. That's amazing. And, again, it sort of like shows how stylized and, artsy something can be while also being super minimal in presentation. You can have a stunning presentation without sort of like, doing something too busy, or doing something on a simpler budget. I feel like there's like so much discourse now that's sort of like shooing in the necessity for like AI art and so on and so forth. And, it's like, oh, some people might need it because they can't draw, or they can't do this, or they can't do that. It's like, you don't need to fucking draw to do this shit. This is one of the most interesting, catchy, gripping visual rollouts for a record this year, and all it is an idea. It's just a great idea. It's a very good idea. Not to say that it doesn't require talent to execute, or perceptiveness, but obviously the barrier to entry here in terms of technical skill is not high, and that's a good thing. That's cool. That's what makes some of the best and most compelling art out there is the kind of shit that, your average moron would react to and be like, oh, I could do that. Awesome. Love this. This is great too. Loving the color of this. Loving seeing the track titles laid out. And we have a pink splatter. Woo! On the BRAT! Bumping that. Holy shit. That's great. That's amazing. That's incredible. What a climax for this video. I've climaxed. I'll say that. All right, well. Killer. Amazing. Incredible. Fantastic. Wow. I'm really impressed by this package. Honestly. Really impressed by it. Love the attention to detail. Love the attention to detail. Love the simplicity, but also liking the complexity, and liking these neat little sort of like additions and everything. It makes for a really kind of unique bit of packaging. BRAT. But yeah, incredible. Vinyl updated, everyone. totally updated. Thank you very much for watching. You're the best. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, vinyl, update, forever.